So it's the beginning of the new year. You wrote down your goals, all the things that are still on there from the last year you didn't do. You printed out all the cute little pictures for your vision board. And now, by 3 months in, most of you watching this video have fallen off. Why? You've hit that inevitable point when you feel unmotivated. And this video was sparked by a conversation I was having in my men's group. We meet every Sunday for the last 3 years. Link is in the description if you want to join. And the question was, what do you do when you don't feel motivated? Now listen, I don't want this to be some frat boy bro video like you're gonna see and guys are gonna sit here and just tell you to do more and yap about their life. I want to give you actual advice that you can implement and start changing your life today. Now listen, you're gonna need a paper and pen today because I'm gonna go over 4 things that I believe can change your life and get you around this idea when you don't feel like it or you don't feel motivated. And the things I'm going to be going over today, I have lived. This is not something that I read in a book or ripped off of another video. For the last 10 years, life has tried to break me. And instead of tapping out, I've created principles that have helped me push through, and I'm going to share them with you today. Number 1, you can use fear as fuel. Okay, now listen, this is a feeling. When you are chasing something or you have a goal or something you want to accomplish, feelings have to be taken out, okay? So with this concept, fear, okay, we're going to replace fear with feeling. If you don't know, I've been a stunt rider for the last 12 years. And in the height of my career, in my prime, when I would argue that I was top 10 stunt riders in the country, fear was driving me. This is the most powerful thing that I had experienced in this time of my life, okay? Every single time I wasn't riding, I had this anxiety that somebody else was riding. Somebody else is putting in the work. The guys that I was quote unquote competing with were riding while I was sleeping. And mind you, I was riding my ass off. I was riding 4 to 6 days a week for a couple years. And I don't believe anybody was outworking me. But even the thought that somebody was outworking me literally replaced any time I didn't feel like it. There was not once that I was like, man, I just don't really feel like going today. I don't really feel like showing up to put in the work. It literally never happened. But this I was lucky for because I didn't have to consciously place fear from feeling. I didn't have to replace that. It just happened for me that way. But the fact that it happened means that I can go back and say, okay, any time in my life where I do run into this, that is an option, okay? Fear is an option. Also, another big fear of mine was that I was fearful of giving something everything that I had because I was going around telling people, I give this everything I have. This is my life. There's nothing more important to me than this motorcycle. Nothing, okay? And I was fearful that if I was putting that energy out there, like I'm giving this my all, I'm dedicating my life to this. There's nothing else that I want in this world more than this. And if I did that and went on for years and years and years and I never got good, I feel like that would be shameful and embarrassing. Again, this was a fear that was driving me. If you're going to put your all into this, you better be good at it, right? And you know, a lot of people don't understand that concept of going all in, and that's a video, complete different subject for a whole nother day. Do not waste your time. If you're going to do something, do it to the best of your ability. Go all in on it. And that was a fear of mine that I was going to do that and I wasn't going to see any fruit, or I wasn't going to leave my mark, right? That's kind of mixing in with one of the other points, purpose. I wanted to leave my mark with the motorcycle, especially if I was going to dedicate my life to it. So write something down. What would be a fear of mine in whatever thing that you're doing, right? What would be a fear? I always say, what would be the biggest L I could take, right? That would be in the bike if somebody was outworking me, right? And somebody was better than me. Or if I went through this whole journey, faced all the adversity, the crashes, the medical bills, the court cases, all this kind of stuff. If I went through all that and didn't get a reward from it, that would be an L. So write down something. What would be the biggest L I could take in my endeavor? And I would probably say it would be quitting, but you have to add fear and attach it to pain in order to replace those feelings of, oh, I just don't feel like it. Number 2, put your back up against the wall. You have to make a decision that there is no out, right? Whatever thing that you're doing, you're not negotiating with it, right? Because that's what we do. You will get as creative as you can. You will get so creative as to make an excuse why you shouldn't do the thing, right? You'll wake up and you're supposed to do something and you will come up with the craziest excuse not to do it, and you'll justify it in your head, okay? There is no other option. Burn the boats, okay? Hang on to that phrase. We're not going back. This is the only option that we have. Put your back up against the wall, metaphorically and even physically, right? If you have to do something to put yourself in a situation where there's no way out, like I did, 3 years ago, I quit my job with $7 in my bank account, with 2 kids and a stay-at-home wife. I would not suggest this to anybody, but what I did was I was mixing number 1 and number 2 together. I was working a job where I was embarrassed of myself. Not that I was embarrassed of the job, and not that the people that work that kind of job are embarrassing people, but I felt like I was being called to do something else. I felt like I was being called to make more money. I felt like I was leaving, 90% of my potential on the table working this job. Okay? What was the fear that I used? If I do this for the rest of my life, when I get to take my last breath, this will be my biggest regret. Fear. Number 1, right? Number 2, back up against the wall. If I quit, I'm not going back, right? If that's my fear, I'm leaving potential on the table, and back up against the wall. If I quit, there is no other option. I literally can't go back. I wasn't even making enough money to survive anyway, so it literally didn't even make sense for me to keep spending my time there. It would be better off for me to just jump ship and try to make something happen, jump out of the plane and build the parachute on the way down. And sure enough, 3 years later, I have a successful content agency. I've been on my own for 3 years, financially independent, making my own money, running my own business. And man, I don't know if I didn't put my back up against the wall, if I ever would have made it happen, because I wasn't giving it everything I had, because I always had this like excuse of, oh, this is in the way. I'm trying to, I can't work a job and I have a side hustle, and it's all these excuses. And the moment that all those excuses were gone, like because they weren't physically there anymore, the job wasn't an excuse. The job wasn't there. So now what, Nate? Now what's your excuse? Back up against the wall, okay? Action item number 2. Give yourself some type of situation today where you put your back up against the wall and there's no other option but to do the thing that you know you're supposed to do. I'm trying to stay off my phone. I'm trying to have less screen time. I literally deleted the Instagram app off of my phone so I can be more present at home, so I can lock in on my business and all the other things I have going on. So whatever that is for you and whatever goals you have, put yourself in some type of situation where you can't go back and there's no other option. All right, number 3, give whatever you're doing some type of purpose, right? And I think this is where spirituality really comes in. I myself, just based upon all the events that have happened in my life, all the things that I've accumulated, all of the experiences that I have, I am truly looking for meaning and purpose in my life. And I know that a calling that's greater than me, that's more important than myself. Doing these videos is extremely important. Sharing the things that I have learned from the experiences that I've had. So doing this video right now, I'm attaching purpose right now to what I'm doing. It's bigger than me. Why is this important? Because when I don't feel like it, I think of the other people that need to hear the stuff that I have to say. I will literally think of the one comment that somebody left on a video, said, yo, I really need you to hear this today. That is purpose, okay? I don't know if you have a situation where your mom still works and you want to retire her. You want to spend more time with your family, but your job's getting away with that. That is purpose. That is your why, okay? And again, this is for people that want to get deep with it. This is what connects with me. I'm a very deep, emotional, spiritual person. This is a extremely, extremely potent tool purpose to get to where you want to go, and you stop thinking about, oh, I don't feel like it, oh, I'm unworthy, oh, I'm unmotivated, like all these feelings that are all, again, a lie, right? And you attach something so deep to it that it has to happen, okay? And then you start stacking all these things up, right? I add fear in with every single thing that I've spoke of. I add back up against the wall with every single thing that I'm talking about. I add give it purpose to every single thing that I do in my life. All of these things add up to how you are always doing the things that you're supposed to be doing. Of course you're going to slip. Of course I slip. I don't post these videos all the time like I should. But the idea is to grasp on to all of these concepts and use them as principles so you stop submitting to your feelings, which are fleeting and which are ever changing every single day. So what is extremely important to you? For me, it's my wife and kids, it's my family, and it's the purpose that I believe that God has for me on this earth, and that's to make videos like this. Everything that I have has been motivated and fueled by my wife and kids. I have a fear that I won't get to see my kids grow up. That fueled me in my business. I put my back up against the wall so I could earn the right to have the time with my wife and kids every day. And all those things combined have given me purpose, right? I think about them before I think about myself. So if I'm thinking about them and showing my son what it's like to be a man and showing my daughter what it's like to have a man that always shows up, it's no longer about my feelings. It's about them. Write down something that gives you purpose. Attach this goal that you have to somebody else's well-being, right? Like, I want to take care of my mom. I want to retire her. I want to buy my mom a house. I want to take care of my grandparents. Like, somebody that's super important to you. Attach your goals to them and you will take it away from your feelings. Okay, so to wrap this up, the last one, number 4 is discipline. And discipline is the shortcut to not feeling like it. Discipline is the medicine for feeling unmotivated. Why? Because here's the plan I'm executing, okay? I mix with a couple of these things here, and the cool part is I use these different principles for different times in my life when I feel different ways. But I know I can discern which one I need to use in which moment in order to get me off my ass and get me going. So discipline, I think, is the fastest route. This is something that someone can apply today. You know, you have all this deep thinking with, oh, I got to attach fear to it. If you want to put your back up against the wall, I don't want to quit my job. You add purpose, like, well, I don't even know who I'm doing this for, and I don't know what my calling is. And you have to think about it. But with discipline, I said I was going to do this. I'm doing it. That's it. It's that simple. So all of these things require some sort of depth. But if you don't want to get that deep with yourself and all the spirituality talk and all these other things I'm talking about is too deep for you, discipline is your key. Discipline is the answer for you. Discipline is, I do what I said I'm going to do no matter how I feel about it. It's that simple, right? There is times where I say, today I'm going to act like a robot. I'm tired. My back hurts. I don't want to go to the gym. I don't want to do my daily run. I don't want to do the little things, the minute things I need to do to run my business. And I say, today, none of the things that you feel matter because they don't get me to where I want to go. Okay. So if you are in a place where you need something to happen right now in this moment today, discipline is your answer. No matter what you feel, you do the thing necessary that's going to get you where you want to go. And the last thing I want to say, and I want to make this clear, you can binge watch all the videos you want about finding motivation or what to do when you don't feel like it. Even these 4 principles that I've listed right here that work for me on a daily basis. None of these things work without extreme accountability, which most people do not have. And that's a whole nother video for another day. But listen, if any of these principles resonated with you, but you need a little extra help, you can apply for coaching below, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.